Hello everyone and welcome to chapter 2 of Excel. We are in week 6. We're going to go ahead because we know the drill by week 6 to go ahead and download our materials. And again, be careful of downloading all files at the same time. Let's first download the instructions. And it is a two-pager. It hopefully won't take you too long. So we've got we'll just pick this up and then I'm going to move it over. Looks like I downloaded two. Sorry about that. Oh, and before I forget, we do have information that we're going to be typing in. So if you're like me and you want a hard copy, if you can, print out in color so that you're able to see the blue wording. That is what you're going to be typing. If not, if you've got two monitors like I do, go ahead and pick that up and move that over. And then we have our student file, which you will also need. And I've already created a file folder, but I'm going to go ahead and do a quick save as. The fastest way is F12 to do a save as. And I'm going into Excel and then chapter 2. And so really quick before we get started, I want to look at our surroundings. We have two spreadsheets inside of this workbook. Also, one thing that I notice is when I do it the first time around, it comes up as my last name instead of student. This is my second time doing it and it just says student. I don't think I would worry too much if it says student or your last name here. I did want to point that out the last few times while I have been making these videos and I have failed to do that. So it should be fine when you get ready to upload it. Going back to our workbook, we do have two worksheets. Let's go ahead and rename these worksheets. There are a couple of different ways to skin a cat. When you're thinking about your final is not only to make that move, but to make it the fastest way you can. I will say this all semester that those tests are 50 minutes with at least 40 questions. It's probably going to take you at least 30 seconds to read the question. So you really want to try to outsmart the machine if you want. That's what I think you should do. So for example, to change the sheet name, I can right click and go into rename, but that entails me to pick up my mouse, to do a right click, move the mouse up to rename. Truly the fastest way is to double click inside of the tabs and then just start typing. But if you're not comfortable with that, then you should do the right click. Now it is telling us to not only change the name of sheet 1 to Western, but we also want to change the tab color. And we are going to change that to brown accent 2. Be careful. I love the hovering because in that way you can actually see the names. These all look orangish, but these are brown. So we do want brown accent 2. And then for sheet 2, we are going to name this one Eastern. And we are also going to give him a tab color of brown, or orange, excuse me, accent 1. So we've got Western and now we have Eastern. Click the Western sheet tab to make it active. And then we are going to group the worksheets. And that just means you're clicking Western, you're going to hold down your control and then click Eastern. Whatever we do in one, now that these are grouped, we'll do in the other. It will only work, and let me click off, it will only work if Eastern is set up exactly like Western. As far as, so we've got A1 through F5 is open. Right, we're going to give that a title. So both of these sheets are very similar. So let me go back to grouping and I will go to A1 now because I know what it's going to ask me. In A1, we want to type Rosedale landscape and make sure you don't have any typos. I had a typo somewhere and it counted me off. I got a 94 the first time I did this, so just make sure. that there's no typos. So Rosedale Landscape and Garden. Instead of me hitting my enter key, I'm going to click enter here because I want to stay in A because I know that I'm going to do a merge and center going across. This is a nice handy tool to have. So go ahead and click merge and center. We do want to take that across to F1. So A1 to F1 and merge and center. And now let's apply the title cell style. And then we're going to go to the more or the drop down button for the more for formatting, and we're going to give it title. So these are the styles. And now you're going to select A2 to F2, merge and center, and apply heading 3 style. So let me just repeat what I was saying. We have these two grouped together, and once we ungroup, you will see that what we did to row 1 and 2 is also being done in Eastern while we're in Western. That's definitely a cool feature. Item number 4, question number 4 says, with the sheet still grouped in cell D5, calculate the bonus for read by multiplying the cells eligible for bonus for the bonus times the bonus rate. So to start off a formula, you have to tell the machine something. So it's going to be equal. And we're just going to do this the longhand way. And I know that I need to take read cell eligible bonus, which is B5, times his bonus rate. So you can see that we've got cell B5 times C5, and that will figure out what his bonus was. And again, I want to stay here, so I'm just going to use this enter, and it's $640.75. Now we're going to copy this formula down to C8, and then it changed. So here is B6, this should be 7, and then 8. And I love that in the formula bar we have done that. Okay, now we're going to copy, or sorry, in 5, item number 5, it says in cell F5, total compensation. We are going to sum up our bonus plus the base salary for read. We don't need any parentheses. It's just a nice clean addition. So we're just summing the bonus plus his salary to see what his total compensation is. $2,900 and some odd change. Now we're going to copy this formula all the way down to F8. Next, we're going to go into row 9, and we're going to use the sum function to total the columns for cells eligibility. And we're going to tab over because if I do enter, it takes me down a row. So we're just going to tab over. But we're not going to do bonus rate. So tab to bonus, and then auto sum, tab over, and we're going to do auto sum again, and then we're going to do total compensation. And then I'm going to click this one. I'm going to bring the instructions back over because I want you to understand what I was reading. It says in cell 9, use the sum function to total the columns for cells eligible for bonus, bonus salary, and total compensation. Please be sure to read the entire question first before making the move. So we did not do bonus rate. Actually doing that will help you when you're taking the final to read the entire question first and then making the moves. That way you don't have any errors. So to finish out question 6, we're going to now apply the accounting number format with 2 decimal places to the appropriate rows or cells in row 5. So if you look, we're going to do cells eligible bonus. Do not include the percentage. So we want cells eligible bonus, bonus, base salary, and total compensation. To do that, I use the control key, which we learned in the first chapter of Excel. Now, it says 2 decimal places. I am going to click on my launcher for this because I would like to show you that going down to the accounting, what it brings up. So it shows that I have 2 decimal places, and it shows that I have a symbol also. And you can change symbols, but we're not going to. But if you ever want to change decimal places, this is the place to do it. And then, of course, also here to increase and decrease your decimals. Next, we are going to apply the comma style. Oh, excuse me, I forgot row 9. So we need to do 9, and I could have taken all of these exact same time, so I do apologize for that, but that's a quick fix. So go ahead and open up your launcher, and we want accounting, and we do already have the 2 decimal places, and so that changed it. That looks good. Now we're going to apply the comma style to the appropriate cells in row 6 through 8. Do not include the percentages. So I'm actually going to just highlight just like that. So we've got 6 through 8 in column B, and then use your control and gather D6 through F8. And we're going to apply the comma style and make sure that you have the 2 decimal places. That's all you have to do. Apply the total cell style to the appropriate cells in the total row. So I'm going to go down here and total, so your cell styles. Number 8, click the Eastern Sheet tab to ungroup the sheets and then insert a new worksheet. And we are going to name this new worksheet Summary. And you will color him brown text 2. So we're going to go backwards here, brown text 2. Now we're going to widen column A to 210 pixels. And we learned how to do that last week. And then you're going to gather B through E columns, and you're going to widen that to pixels 155, so 155 pixels. And if you gather all of them and you just do one, they all go. I love that feature. It sure makes it a whole lot easier than have to do them one by one. Move the summary sheet so that it is the first sheet in the workbook. So left click, hold it down. You can see that I've got the sheet, and then I'm going to release it in front of summary. Now in cell A1, control home, that's A1 of the summary sheet, you are going to type in Rosedale, landscape, and garden. And I'm going to use this enter because now I'm going to merge and center through E1. And then, oops, sorry about that, merge and center through E1. And then I'm going to change the cell style to title. Next, you're going to click into cell A2, and then you're going to type June commercial. Sorry about that. June commercial sales person, that's one word, bonus summary colon, and then Canada. And for sure, make sure that you do not have any typos. For some reason, this is where I had a typo, and so it counted me off a couple of points. Go ahead and gather A2 to E2 and merge and center across, and then give this a heading 1 cell style. In cell A5 through A7, we are going to give these headings. So in A5, you are going to type bonus. A6 will be base salary. And in A7, total compensation. But then it says to apply the heading 4 style to the range. So make sure you've got no typo errors in your spelling, and then select them all, and the cell style we want is heading 4. In question 11, it says to go to cell B4 to E4 and give those columns titles. Then we're going to center and then apply the heading 3 style. So Western backslash Eastern, Western, Eastern, and then total. And then I'm going to gather all those, center them, and then apply the heading 3 style to the range. Nice and easy. In cell C5, we are going to enter a formula that references cell D9. So let me go slow. So Western and Eastern. We have Western and Eastern. We want to know the bonus that was on Western, the total. So to do that, you are going to say equal, because we're starting a formula, but it's not a big formula. It's not a challenging one. Then you're going to go to the Western formula, and you are going to get the bonus total in Western, and then after that you're just going to push enter, and it takes us right back to the summary. I love this feature. Nice and simple. And so when I'm on this cell, I can look into my formula bar and see that that is the Western Sheet tab in cell D9. We are going to do the same thing for the Western worksheet, but now we want the base salary. So again, you start out by saying equal, and we want base salary, but we want the total, and then just hit your enter key. You are going to create a similar format to enter the total base salary for Western region in cell C6 is what I just did, and then we're going to do the same thing for Eastern for D5 and D6 so that the Eastern totals also display. So we have an equals in D5, and now let's go over to Eastern, and we want the base total, and enter. And then equals, and we're working on base salary total in Eastern, and 10,000. Nice and simple, very easy. Next, we're going to use the sum function to total the bonus and the base salary rows, and then use the sum function to calculate the total compensation for the Western and Eastern and total rows. So to do that, we can either do it longhand, or we can just click the total, which is what I like to do. It's so easy, and you can actually use your fill handle. And after I do that, I like to go back up just to make sure that yes, that is C6 and D5. And to make it go fast, I am going to use the fill handle just to go across. So when I go here, I know that it totaled D5, D6, and this is E5 and E6. In cell B5, we are going to insert a spark line or a spark column spark line. And so we have Sparklines group, and we're going to choose column. And our data range, our location is B5 and it's absolute, so we don't want this to change. But we are going to use C and D in row 5. And we're going to do the same thing here. So the only feature that I don't like is that after you click off of using the column sparkline, it takes you back off of it, and so it's just, you have to get used to it. So now we're going to do B7 is our last one, and again column and then sparkline, and our range is C and D of row 7, and then enter. Okay, so that was all of question 14, step 14. So we did column sparklines for the range C5 through D5 in B4. Nice and easy. I'm sorry, in B5. So now let's look at 15. To the spark line in cell B5, we are going to apply the spark line style accent to no dark or light. So that's kind of hard because when you go into your styles, there's a lot. So let's just hover over what we are already on. We are on Sparkline Style Dark. So we're going to go over and we're going to go into column 2, and I can already tell you that I can see a number 2. So let's go towards the top. So that's accent 2. That's darker though. And let's just see what this one is. This is lighter. And let's go down one. And this is colorful. So it's probably somewhere in here. There it is. I didn't do that one. So Sparkline Style accent 2, no dark or light. For B6, whoops, and that of course was the wrong one. I need to be on B5. Sorry about that. And let me go back. No dark, no light. And then in B6, we need to change the sparkline style to Sparkline Style Dark 1. And you're just going to have to just hover. Sparkline Style Dark 1. And last but not least, in cell B7, we are going to change this sparkline to Sparkline Style 1 Accent 40%. So that's darker 25, that one, here it is, lighter 40%. So now we're going to group the 3 worksheets together again. So Control, then hit Western and Eastern. And then from the Page Setup dialog box, so Page Setup dialog box, so you have to click your launcher. Let's open it up. We want to center the worksheets horizontally on the page. And we want to change the orientation to landscape. And then last, we want to insert a footer on the left side with the section file name. And that is it. To ensure that the worksheets are correctly named and placed in the following order, just take a look at them. And everything looks great. And so we are going to save this and then get it uploaded. If you have any questions this week, just to go ahead and use the Ask the Instructor tab in Blackboard and let me know if there's anything that I can do to help out. Let me go this way. Completed. Sorry about that. I need to refresh. And I think that's it for the week. Not too much homework for the week. just make sure that you ask me questions if you need to. And it looks like I did miss one thing. I got a 99%. I'm not for sure if you all have gone in to looking at this. Probably by now you have, and it's week 6, but let's just open this up. I am a little curious to see what happened. So we're looking at grader 2, and we're going to view the submission. And we want this one. It's slow, isn't it? All right, loading up. Here we go. And it looks like I might have had a typo. So again, just be mindful of that. Be careful. Those typos will get you every time. And especially when you're thinking about your final, you need all the points that you can possibly get. All right, that's it for the week. Good luck, everyone.